Hey guys, welcome to hashtag the world of cool features. Sending out a prayer full of well wishes to each of you, and I'm an atheist, so when I wish something good for you, it comes from here, my full-sized aortic pump. And that's why if and when something good's happening to you, I'm selflessly wishing over time for you. Let's quickly get to the topic at hand. I am going to show you two apps that I use to get good exposure for my videos. So if you're into making videos with the DSLR, if you like working on framing and lighting artistically, if you have a smartphone, and if you want to take the first step towards manually exposing your subjects for an optimal exposure triangle, you'll find my workflow helpful. With this method, we will fix the three parameters: aperture, ISO, and shutter speed manually to our choice and use our smartphones to help adjust lighting. Kind of like how they do professionally. There are a few disclaimers to keep in mind though, but I'll share those in the absolute end because kind of itching to start, and also that's how I think I can get you to watch till the end. There are tons of apps that will do the exact same thing, but I'm going to show you one for each. So one for Android and one for iOS. Links in the description for both. Lightmeter free for Android and Lumu Lightmeter for iOS. Their description does say that you need to pay for certain advanced features, but I've been using the free version, the free version on both, and I haven't felt the need to pay for upgrades yet. I'll also quickly share the settings I personally use. On Android, go to Preferences in the Lightmeter free app. Then come to Camera Meter. Make sure spot metering is enabled. This will help you expose for your subject. Don't worry, I will show you how in just a little while. You can also enable histogram because reading histograms is a great skill to have. Come back to the main menu and you can also choose to display shutter angle or shutter speed. I use shutter angles, but I think this video is not the right place to discuss what that is or how it's different from shutter speed, but I'll put shutter speed for now so that we can speak the same language. Keep scrolling down and you'll see certain options grayed out. So those are what paying for the app will get you. But keep coming down, keep scrolling down and come to minimum ISO and set it to let's say 50 or 100. Don't matter much because we will be targeting the maximum ISO as is in this method. So come back to the main menu and then go to the maximum ISO setting. And here is what I suggest you do. Google what the native ISO of your particular camera is. For example, if I search for the maximum native ISO of my Blackmagic production camera 4K, I can see that it's 400, which means if I keep the ISO at 400, theoretically this camera would offer the cleanest image and the highest dynamic range that it can offer. So I'm going to set that as the maximum ISO. I'm again telling you, find out the native ISO of your exact camera. It's a very simple Google search. And then remember to change this setting if you change cameras. For example, if I switch to the smaller pocket I have, I will have to set it to 800 because that is widely considered to be its native ISO when filming in RAW. Time to exit the main menu on Android and time to set some preferences for iPhone users. Android guys, you can use the navigation counters in the description to skip this segment if you want. I honestly don't mind if your skipping ruins the recommendation algorithm for my channel because YouTube is not who I want to keep happy, it's you guys, and that's also why I stopped asking for subscriptions and all. I mean, if you appreciate what I did / am doing / will continue to do for you, you will come back. So iPhone time. There's a settings gear icon on the top left corner and there honestly isn't much to set here. Just go to the general settings and make sure that continuous measuring is enabled. And while the Android app has so many other helpful features which I do think deserve a separate dedicated video on its own, which I'll be happy to do, make if anyone wants it. But on the free version of the iPhone app, the only option available is spot metering. Tap it. And on Android, tap on Camera Meter, which is the absolute first option. Top left. Both apps will ask for permissions to use your camera, and once you give it to them, they will open the camera in their respective UI interface. Now, in case you didn't know, I am a one-man crew, so I use a neutral gray card to frame myself and set focus and exposure. So all you need to do is just follow the following steps with whatever your subject is. So set up your shot, a frame, set reference lighting. Need not be accurate and final because that's what we will be manipulating using the two apps. But let's just continue on the iPhone for now, because once the camera UI is open, you get access to more settings on the top right corner this time. Come to equipment and set values for your lens aperture. I'll be using my Canon 24mm Pancake at f2.8, so that's what I shall enter. Then same as what we did for Android, enter the max ISO value. You see, it's not like these can't be managed or you can't change and work without setting these max ISO settings for now, but when actually using that, this can be done. But this just helps us remember what we are targeting for. It's better this way. Now come back into the main UI, and if you look at both the apps for a moment, despite being different in how they kind of look, they kind of offer the same data. So tap on point on the iPhone, it will zoom in. Now move your phone so that this zoomed in point is on your subject. On Android, you do get tap to focus, which makes it, it's relatively easy, and you also get a slider on the left which you can use to, kind of zoom in more organically, target it better, target your subject better. Now let's, just start entering our data for now. We've already established our aperture. On the iPhone, you can set your frames per second as well. I shoot at 24 FPS, so I'm gonna set that. Then using the 1/2 the FPS rule, I'm going to set shutter speed at 1/48. On Android, you need to long tap the ISO rectangle in case it's not already red. The gray, blue, whatever, means that that particular setting is locked. It won't adjust automatically. So long tap ISO to make it red, because ISO is the setting that we shall be playing for targeting. Make sure you set aperture, make sure you set shutter speed, and the red ISO numbers must now be jumping around. Use the tap to meter function, select your subject, zoom in, how I've zoomed into the gray patch on my color chart. Now, what you're seeing right now is the app suggesting you the ISO value that you should ideally use for good exposure. But here's the fun part. This info can be used to manipulate our lighting to get this number to match the native ISO of our camera. As you can see, while my max ISO was set at 400, the app is suggesting a much higher value. It is suggesting me to compensate this underexposure, of my subject with a higher ISO value. But that's not what we want. I want my camera's native ISO value, which means I'm going to adjust and add more light to this temporary setup scene that I've set up for you guys. And I will keep adding light till the ISO setting comes down to, let's say, around 400, the native ISO of the camera that I'm shooting with. Got it? See, it's not like my camera can't shoot at ISO 800, and it's not like the image won't be, good at ISO 800. It can and it will be. But I know that the image, or actually my subject, because we're metering for our subject, is going to be cleaner at ISO 400. On the iPhone, you can see text on top. If your subject is underexposed, it shows in red, and it might even suggest you different aperture values if you overexpose. But that's the point. You need to adjust your lighting to get the exposure, triangle values that you want, even if that means cutting light if you have overexposed. Optimum exposure based on physical camera metrics that you have set manually. And when your metering is right, the red text will switch to say either photo spot metering or video spot metering. Tapping that lets you choose between these two modes as is, video or whatever, and that's about it. I use this method for when I'm filming these YouTube videos. I first figure out my frame, then I figure out lighting for myself as the subject, and then just add lights, for the background or the foreground and all afterwards. But before you go, let me tell you 2-3 things. This tip won't get you scientifically perfect or accurate exposure. That's because I can't place my trust in smartphone sensors with 100% confidence. Okay, I can say that most newer iPhones and most flagship Androids may give good and accurate sensor readouts, but there are just so many phones on the market, old hardware, budget hardware, weak image signal processing software, million permutations, at least for Android. That's why I can't give this tip a blanket thumbs up. I hope that's understood, and I hope that's okay. But you still, it's so much better than having no help while filming, then having to rescue poor lighting in post-production, or the horror of dealing with noise and grain removal with a non-supercomputer or having to buy expensive physical light meters. But also honestly, these apps and this video will really help you get creatively perfect exposure. Perfect for you, that is. Secondly, let me stress this enough, this is not an absolutely professional tip. Even I don't use these apps when I'm on a professional project. I mean, sure, I'll whip them out for a quick reference, but my go-to tool is False Color. I have it natively on my Pocket 4K. I have it in the external monitors I use with my other two cameras, but I really do use this method for these YouTube videos. And if you don't like any look of my old videos, that is because I'm literally experimenting and messing up the look and grading every video on purpose, which also means that while I have shown you the process, the final variables will be different for you. I've never tried to look like someone else's video. Yours should never look like mine. See you soon, hale, hearty, safe, and a little more empathetic every passing day. I reply to every single comment, by the way, and if stuff seems confusing, don't worry. I will be holding your hand through and through. I'm kinda like Severus Snape that way. Hashtag always.